Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Stubby here with the OCC podcast. Of course, as always, I am joined by my co-host David Jansen and our special guest here today, Ian Carnagie. Ian, how are you doing?
I'm all
Okay,
right.
good.
I'm all right, guys. How are you guys?
No, not too bad, not too bad. Looking
Very,
forward to the tournament for sure.
yeah, doing very
Well,
well. Just got finished.
events in one, right?
Yeah,
You
it's crazy.
got your team event, you got your max super matches, and then a no elimination tournament.
Awesome.
That is mega.
Awesome.
That is mega. I can only imagine the stress that comes with all that.
Yeah, but what we really want to prove is just show you guys how fast arm wrestling can. Even though it's going to take the day, we're literally doing three events in one. You know what I mean? And we're going to show you how arm wrestling can actually function. Do you know
which
what I
is which is phenomenal. That's like times we see a single event go for many hours, and that is a super match event.
Yeah,
And now for you to be able putting a card together with all this, I know personally I won't be able to come out, but a bunch of our team members are coming. Nathan's coming out to
I'll be heading out
watch
for sure.
and stuff, so it's mega.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for putting your faith in me and coming out and checking it out. I think, to be fair, when it was a concept, I think a lot of sneering and jeers and why are you trying to reinvent the wheel and stuff like that, and why you try to fix something that ain't broke. But
Right.
for me, it was evident that it was broken as soon as I got into the sport, and I knew eventually I would be a vehicle for change, or at least if not change, to add something that was
Yeah.
different. Do you
Yeah.
know? So I don't mind what exists. Like, there's lots of people that like the current form and the current tables, and that's fine. You know, if you like that, there's 150 million leagues out there. If you want to do something a little different, a little bit wild and a little bit crazy, a little bit more Wild West,
Yeah.
come on over and let's have some fun.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I remember like it's been over a year, maybe close to 2 years. I'm not sure how long you've had the
Just over,
Mac started.
just over a year.
Yeah, so it's probably then like a while but earlier than that that you started with the concept because I remember hearing you talk about it on some gentleman's podcast and stuff, and then you posted that first picture, and I was like I had no clue what was going on, but I was like, okay, this is a pretty cool table. Like if nothing else, it's a pretty cool idea.
Well, the first Mac table design was only made it as far as the tabletop, and immediately we saw all kinds of problems. And then we went to the second table and lots of improvements, but immediately we realized no, it's not going to work. So the first two tables never got legs on it. The third table, we were like, okay, we have something here. Let's put some legs on it. Let's test it out. We tested it out. We liked a lot about it, but then there was a lot that we didn't like about it. So we refined it, made another table. Listen, we're at technically, if you take each table iteration that slightly different, even Mac 2 table is close to perfect that we think it is.
Yeah.
We had made two alterations, three alterations, even from Mac 2. So the Mac 3 tables are slightly different.
And that's not even going very long in between events because I know I just watched that event not so long ago, Mac 2.
Mac 2 was the 21st of December.
Yeah, that's crazy. What are we, 3 months?
Yeah.
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 And
Four.
we do it right away. Like as soon as it was done, we were like this, and this, and they're like, okay. And now even the embroidery is so much sharper. Yeah, like they upped their game. They went out and bought a $50,000 embroidery machine for these tables. Like
Wow.
Wow. That's incredible.
just for these tables. I mean, obviously they can use it for other things, but this was the sort of like the thing that led them to like, okay, let's just do it. You know.
Yeah. No, that's
Awesome.
amazing. And how do you come to the idea of making these small micro changes and stuff? Is it something you and your partners come to an agreement, or is it through other people's evaluations and telling you this is my experience?
Well, for the first part, it was testing and adjusting it myself and with some friends. And once I started getting it close to what I liked, then I really had to lean on other people because I started getting biased and believing in
Yeah.
my best, you know.
Right.
And I was like, uh, I need some real, like, I started going to places that were far away from me because, you know, in 200-mile radius of me, I know everybody in the army,
Yeah.
right? So I went to the States, and actually, it's where I met one of my business partners, and his Easy Rollers New York Rochester team tested out the table, and they fell in love with it. Like there's the Picton team in Ontario that's really embraced Mac. There's a few other Ontario, but nobody has embraced Mac arm wrestling like that club. They have three. I think they have. I think they got either 3 or 4 Mac tables. I don't
That's
know.
that's incredible. That's got to be a pretty big team even to have more
Yeah.
than 4 or 5 tables. So
Yeah.
And they have a shit ton of regular arm wrestling tables there too, right? So
Wow.
wow.
they have 2 old style Mac tables, and I think they have one of the new ones. They're gonna have 4. They're gonna have 2 new ones and 2 old ones.
Well, that's incredible. Obviously, make it a lot easier than to set up tournaments or events in that area then as well.
And
Yeah.
they are on the 29th of March. It's just a tournament with maybe some super matches as a main card draw or whatever, but
Yeah.
not a pay-per-view event. It's just we as much as we like the professional side of the house and the pay-per-view, and we want to be fair to everybody, because at the end of the day, we might consider just starting a league that's tournament based too. You know what I mean? Like, just
Mhm.
Okay.
so this is a new form of arm wrestling, not just for the specialized elite people, but everybody should have an opportunity to pull this form of arm wrestling and make the choice for themselves.
For sure.
Would a league like
Have to be either or, right? You could
Yeah.
just, oh, this weekend we're going to do some Mac arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Next week we're going to do some WAF style arm wrestling.
Yeah.
no, that's incredible.
Oh, people know we're going to start building these high end tables, WAF style as well, just so to prove like because right now I'm saying, like, there isn't anything that exists today that is at the quality of a Mac table. Like, I can confidently say that. Like, there's and if when you come, like, just do it yourself. Like, I'll actually disassemble the tabletop and I'll hand it to you, and you tell me what you think.
That's
The
crazy.
tabletop itself is as heavy as a WAF table is complete.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
and it needs to, like, I get it. Like, it will need to reduce in weight and stuff like that, because especially with shipping. But understand, the people that are making these tables, like, their main job isn't arm wrestling tables, right? They make chiropractic tables for around.
Oh,
oh wow.
So they have a like, their steel and their materials have to be a certain quality, and you know what I mean.
sure.
So a fat
Yes.
guy like me goes on their table and it doesn't destroy it. Well,
Yeah.
that's the materials they're using to build these arm wrestling tables.
Right.
Obviously, it's going to be heavy, and that's why they're a bit expensive. Like, to be fair, we're selling them right now at 1,200 US.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get a stage on top of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it is what it is. We got 10 on back order right now. We're waiting. They should have it done like by the end of the month, I think. I'll talk to Jay just to make sure that timeline's good. We've sold already about half of them, and a lot of inquiries. I know Dave Shave's driving up from Detroit, and he's going to actually buy one of the used ones. Like, he just wants one. He's like,
Wow.
come to the event and I'll buy one. And I wasn't prepared to sell it because we only have 3 in existence, the new stuff, and
Wow.
we, like I said, on the 29th, where I'm not going to attend because I have business in Arlington that I have to do, and but yeah, but then we're like, you know what, they're going to run the tournament with 2 tables anyway, so it's fine. So he's going to buy one, and we'll just take one of the 10 that's being built.
Well, that's incredible in and out of its own that starting a league so new and stuff, and within a year that you have so much interest and stuff. I know I'm
Yeah.
definitely super interested to see how this weekend goes, as it is a mega card. when I heard Mac 3 coming out so soon after the Mac 2, I was like, wow, that's pretty soon because your first and second were not that close together. And then now hearing the third one, and then I hear names like Artem Taranenko on there.
Yeah.
I hear names like close names, house names like Josh Rodriguez. That's a fellow arm wrestler, close sister team to ours. And
Well, look,
Coach Ray.
if you look at it, we got a nice blend of international known superstars, up and comers that need that platform, guys who have like stepped on the scene and kind of like made a name for themselves. And I'll give you an example, like Philip Larson from Sweden.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Seeing him on there, I was like, wow.
You
Like
know,
Philip.
yeah, he beat Brad Grundy, and now he's going to go up against one of Canada's best, and Rick Heiderbreck, and we're gonna see if it was a fluke or not, or if we need to pump the brakes, or see if he needs to keep going. Because I'll tell you, if he beats, what I'll probably end up doing is, if he beats Rick, I'll probably give him a title shot, or have him pull Josh Bellin, and then a title shot against Wayne Withers. But then you have Jerome Loud, like this guy.
That's
This guy's ready for East versus West, if not very soon to be,
yeah.
And John Terrian's there, Cody Ray's there, Daniel Price. Like, this guy's a stud in Florida, and I think he just needs a platform
Okay.
to like see his skill. Like, I would actually say John Terrian is the underdog.
Wow.
I would.
Wow.
I would say that John Terrian is.
I knew that Daniel Price was extremely good in Florida and everything. And I did I say Daniel Price or John Tyrion? Daniel Price is good in Florida. I know John Tyrion is extremely good right-handed. I know his left is quality, but I didn't know what level it was. But to hear now you say that he potentially is the underdog, that's crazy. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And the thing is I never bet against John, and I wouldn't. But I first of all, I don't bet on my own cards, obviously. And I won't give, like, this isn't going to be a prediction show. I'm not saying Daniel's going to win. I'm looking at it objectively, and I'm looking at the wins that Daniel has left-handed, and I think they're superior to John at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, that's incredible.
There isn't a bigger John Terrian fan in the world than I am. Like, maybe his wife.
Yeah.
I pretty much love the guy. Like, he's.
Yeah.
What was really cool is someone asked permission if they could use John at an event. I go, why are you asking me? They're like, isn't he a MAC athlete? I'm like, well, yeah, but he's not. Like, we don't have him under contract, and we're not doing it. I told John, and he's like, you know what? I don't mind being referred to as a MAC athlete. And I'm like,
yeah, no, that's
nice.
awesome. And I've seen him on all the cards, and he came off of an incredible win against Brandon Elsesser. Like, I did not expect that. Like, I don't know if other people were expecting that, but I knew John was mega. Like, he is mega. But I did not expect that.
My honest opinion on that was, I looked at him. John was the underdog based on everything we knew about the two pullers. But what I know about John is, if he's in the match, watch the out. Like, he starts to believe. He believes and he believes. And I said, if this match stops, it will take everything in the soul of Brandon to beat him. And I was kind of like, I think I was right on that, because once it stopped, it was pretty much. I mean, it wasn't like an easy day by any means for John. He had to work, he had really hard to win that. But yeah, so we got, and then we got both Larrett brothers, like the first time they've ever been on a card together. That's really cool. And Milo's opponent, no one really knows him. He's an Indian guy, but he lives in Kingston, Ontario. He actually pulls at my club. And I've been watching him for like the last year and a bit. And I'm like, wow, he's like getting to be really good. And then he went and he won a tournament that was pretty deep, beating Milo in this tournament. And so I talked to Milo, and I'm like, if I kind of knew what he was going to say, but if I had a crystal ball and I was looking into it and you had a match at Mac in the future, like who would, and he's like, Shaker. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, his dad wasn't like super hyped about it initially, but then he was like, when we explained it to him, and like Milo needs that stepping stones, and he needs to put people on his target deck and start knocking them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's perfect for his first super match, and I actually don't know who's going to win. Like, to be fair, I think bicep to bicep, Shaker's stronger. I think athleticism. I think Milo's pretty athletic and he's pretty fast. Then you got like obviously Curtis Cameron. He's got 2 matches and he's the pork chop, so he's mega strong. It sucks because we wanted to have him as a co-main event, and technically they are, but we can't put them at the last 2 because we want to have Curtis's right hand match, which is the priority, to be first.
Yeah.
And we dog. So I think like what happened to Brandon having his left-handed match first, I believe, and then it was like a killer war, and then it kind of might have hit his nervous system, like, and then he went up against John Tarian, and it was another banger. You know what I mean? So
right.
I think whatever arm is the priority of a 2-armed athlete that at a same event, we're going to put that one first because they generally don't care as much with the off arm.
Yeah.
He just loves both arms. So I said okay, and then a lot of the smaller matches too. Don't kid yourself. There's a reason we put them there.
Matt Smith, incredible match.
And Mike Hitt, like
yeah.
Actually picking up Mike Hitt at the airport tomorrow.
Okay.
That's why I'm at the hotel early. The guys at the airport and got my laptop here, and I'm just trying to refine last minute things, make sure all the logistical stuff is taken care of. Which, to be fair, I'm like reviewing it. Like I have partners and different people that because no, it's not definitely not good.
Yeah.
I got Doug Allen and Alan Ford.
Yeah.
That's also another incredible match. There is so many, like,
oh, dude,
this
Ole and Daninoff and BLM.
Oh, Brad Grundy, right?
Well, he's replacing Brad Grundy.
Oh, that's too bad.
Got COVID or something like that, so we had to replace him.
That's very unfortunate. I was really pumped for that match.
Yeah.
But listen, BLM, Ole, that could be incredible too.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know where BLM's at right now. Like, I've seen him at some Armed God events and stuff, so I'm not sure exactly what his level is. And I know that Ole beat Pork Chop at Nationals, I believe. So that says he's really high. Like, his level is very high.
That's true. I am looking for, I apologize. I'm going to look for some of the list.
Yep.
You guys have it?
Yeah, I have it.
Raymond, Coach Ray.
Yep.
Coming. He's got Josh.
Yep.
We got Artem, Jerome Loud, BLM, Philip Larson, Ole Dalinoff, Daniel Price, Mike Hitt, Doug Allen, Alan Ford, John Tarian, Rick Heidelberg, Curtis Cameron, Matt Smith, Dan Libre, Joseph Spolja. Nobody really knows. You're going to know. You're going to know him real soon. Shea Dickey, he's a stud from the past, okay? Like, he was a WAL puller as well. Obviously, Milo Larrett, Matt Oliver, who won, so Blake, Bouillon, and Matt were the winner and runner-up at the 6-man round robin in MAC 2. So if you win, if you're the top 2 guys of a 6-man round robin, we jump you up to the pros. So they're going to kick off the event with a super match between them, which I like, right? That's a clear sign of progression. Like, how do you get to the pros? Well, get noticed in tournaments, get on one of these semi-pro 6-man, win it, get your shot. There's other ways too, but listen, it's all about entertainment, right?
Oh, yeah.
Entertain the masses and build it and they will come.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and promoting yourself is huge as well.
Shaker, Verma, and Auden. That's I don't know about you, but for a promotion that's not named East versus West, that's a pretty good card.
I think that's incredible. Yeah, it's mega.
Right stacked. Yep.
Like 4 regular dudes. You know what I mean? Just Like it's just
Yes, sir.
none of us are rich here, and we're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm loving how just seeing this card come together, and then I know there's so much, like you already said before, that team event. What are your thoughts on the team event? Because I know that's a lot of athletes in the team event as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Lots of studs. The only issue, there's no issue that I have with it. Why I want to showcase it to the world is because I think it's super underrated. Like I think it's undervalued, the team aspect. I was actually part of the first one. It was the best arm wrestling experience of my life, and I've been on almost every top stage there is in the game. The only thing I have on is really East versus West because I was pretty much retired when they got going, and I was like in promotion mode.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then I trained fairly hard for this team event that happened last year, and I pretty much knew that I was like, oh God, you know what? To train at this level to get to this, it's like it's so hard, and I'm basically, really like set on making Mac something, and then it just made sense that, we're doing something pretty interesting and unique, and Jason was doing something pretty interesting and unique, so we brought him onto the board, the Mac board, and we basically combined the two leagues. And so like there might be a Mac event where it's just the team event and a tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea.
we're not going to be like, oh, that's what to expect with that. Like we're going to keep doing things. We're going to keep innovating and
And progressing and moving things forward.
have a tournament or an event where we take 3 or 4 weight categories and we do 6-man round robins and we just give a belt at the end of it.
No, that's incredible too. That's crazy. Like, and then also, like you said, those people, if they're winners or runners up, they get a match, and that's awesome to see guys like that up.
Take existing pros and be like, how about $2,000 to the winner and a belt, and just see who fills up that if it's enough to draw,
Yeah. And it makes it entertaining too. Like that's enough cash that guys at the pro level do want to jump in and come and compete with it.
And we'd still cover flight and hotel like we always.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, we have a lot of ideas. I don't want to spit them all out because then someone will do it before me and be like, "That was our idea."
Yeah.
Like I want to tell you something funny, and when the guy hears, I won't call him out for it, but he will, probably hear me say this. But I, the Mac table, right?
Yep.
Well, I recently saw a CAD, and it was a new design of a table that looked eerily similar to a Mac table. Like there was some differences, but oh my goodness, like the corners were gone. I think they had 10 by 10, which is actually bigger than ours. Pads, and then they were straight across each other like ours, and they also had curved pads, and I was like, so I called the guy. I'm like, hey, I'll tell you right now, where your CAD is like something that we've done like 5 tables ago. You're going to run into these, and I go, why? If you're going to do this, why not just buy ours?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Buy ours and start your league out west and whatever. And he's actually flying in to do a recce on these tables.
Okay.
No, that's incredible. There's nothing better than creating something and then you see people wanting to do it as well. That's when you know you're headed in the right direction.
What do they
Even though
call
it hurts at times when somebody wants to take an idea,
Mm.
but to have an idea that you see people enjoying to the point that they're like, hey, I think this is great. I would love to do it too.
You want to hear something really crazy? I'm not 100% married to my idea. What I mean by that is right now, I believe I have the best arm wrestling table in the world. I mean, come.
And that's what you should believe if you're
Yeah.
creating something.
Only if it's true.
Yep.
Fair enough. Yep.
Okay. Now, there's going to be a lot of opinions out there. They're going to say it's subjective, but I'm saying, in terms of what you can do with this table, its functionality, its comfortability, it's the way it's made in terms of like quality, and should be said in Hermes Gasparini's accent, quality,
Yeah.
But what I mean by not being married to it is I just want to be on the side of right. I just want to be on the side of moving the needle forward. It doesn't have to be my idea. If you came up with a better table tomorrow that was more functional, that could reduce the stoppages in play with the elbow fouls and blah, 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 I would stop making this table. I would ask for the CAD and I would just build those and we would play on those tables.
Yeah.
Whatever moves the needle in the right direction. That's what I'm loyal to, the sport. Not to this my brand, or I'm loyal to my brand, but it's not the number one goal is getting us into the mainstream, and I don't care who does it. It's just, listen, I want to be part of it, and and if I can be part of it, and it's Mac that does it for us, so be it. If it's somebody else, so be it. But at the rate we're at right now, there are many lesser sports than us that are killing us.
Oh, 100%.
And that's
slap fighting.
It's such a bane of my existence. Like, I wish you wouldn't have mentioned it. Oh, it hurts my temples every time I think of it. It's sport. There's no defense. Like, it's fun watching people knock each other out, but like a sport has an offense and a defense.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless it's a you versus object thing, right? Like,
right.
Like
powerlifting.
A dart's not going to come back at you,
Yeah.
But or golfer, right? But if you're in a combat sport, defense.
I agree.
Anyways, I mean, and it's like in an age where concussions everything. You remember like how many like Sidney Crosby getting kicked out of the league for so long because of his concussion protocol.
Oh, crazy, all that stuff.
I know. Let's make this sport where the number one thing to do is to give each other a concussion.
Yeah, like you just slap each other as hard as you can and hope that you knock him out. And all he's got to do is...
Before I get beat up, let's move on from that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get recognized outside, like not in like if I go to an arm wrestling event, I'm recognized, right?
Yep.
But I'm recognized on the street, and God forbid a slap sport guy meets me, just knocks the shit out of me. Yeah, we're not a sport, hey. Slaps the taste out of my mouth, like.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna pump the brakes on that because I am not a slap sport guy, and I don't know where it's coming from. So it's like,
yeah, no, I agree. I rarely watch it, but I always just think it's entertaining. And when I seen it come and grow as quickly as it did, I will
say that
surprised.
I stole a concept from them. You want to know what it is?
Sure, I have no clue.
Well, I tried to figure out why it was so successful. And what I realized was they built a sport that's simple with direction and it entertains the lowest common denominator. So it's not like, it's like UFC fans today are educated. It took a long time to grow that there.
Oh, huge.
The original UFC fans were just like NASCAR, beer drinking, rednecks. Hey, let's watch someone get knocked out, buddy. You know, like that.
Yep.
Right now, our sport is like at that super technical, and it's not getting that crowd, that lowest common denominator crowd, right?
Yeah.
It's not action packed enough. There's too much stoppages in play. It takes too long.
Well,
For a lover of the sport, some of us can do that. I believe that if we want the mainstream, we have to capture their attention and keep
well,
it.
I fully agree, because a lot of times when I'm showing my buddies that don't arm wrestle and stuff videos, when they're seeing some guys set up and they're like, oh, why aren't they going yet? And the ref's still saying wrist, wrist. Oh, now your shoulders aren't square yet. Okay, now they let go of the wrist, square up the guy's shoulders, they go back, and they're like, man, what? They're like, why didn't they say go yet? And then I'm like, well, this was pointless. This was a good match I was going to show you, but that just ruined the whole thing right there.
Yeah, so there you go, right? So with us, we dumbed down the rules. We decided like to basically make it an auto strap league, you know, unless you talk to your partner and you agree to stay out of straps, but then it's on you to stay out of straps.
Sure. Yep.
And our setups, right? Like we don't allow you to take your grip. Like you tell us what you want, and then the referees enforce what you want. Okay. So you're comfortable, and that's why we don't have a lot of bitching, because it's hard to bitch about something you want.
Yeah.
You know,
And
if you don't care about thumb knuckles, when they say close your thumbs, close your hands, and it's covering thumb knuckles, if you don't care and I don't care, we don't care. It's your match.
perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go. And you know, we throw the straps on. People thought, oh, if you throw the straps on every friggin' match, it'll take forever. I'm like, you know what? I don't think so. I think it'll reduce the time, because it takes 5 minutes to set up two guys just to slip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all the time. And sometimes they slip and the ref's like, foul, do it again. And I'm going like, you
Yeah.
knew you were going to slip. Just put them in the strap at least if you're going to start again. But no, then it's like, go again. They straighten everything out, and then they slip, and then they go to strap.
Yeah.
That's it. So my friend, like, I'm not going to sit here and shit on the other style of arm wrestling, but I'm looking to tap into that market that I think will be interested in what we're providing.
And I believe it's working.
For sure.
We're here talking with you, and we're ready to watch Mac 3 on Saturday because we believe in it.
Where are you guys located?
Tillsonburg, Ontario. So just a little bit. What are we?
I'm in.
No, west of London.
I'm really I think I could see the runway of Pearson from one of these hotel, but we're really close. We're really close to the airport.
Yeah, I was just around that area today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a home show that we're doing for the company I work for up there this week and stuff. So yeah.
You got a company?
No, I work for a company. I personally don't own the company.
I don't. Why do you sponsor us?
Yeah, I'm not that rich.
No, it's cool.
Maybe one day.
I honestly, guys, I cannot believe how, like, this is the most expensive Mac. I mean, well, I won't say, my partners don't like it when I say it, but like, let's just say the first event was 10,000, the second event was 25,000. We're significantly beyond that right now.
As it grows, I'm sure. I can only imagine.
Yeah, and then that's as much as I'll talk on that. But like, the community really stepped up. Like, we probably got 20 sponsors.
That is incredible. Wow. That is incredible.
Like, we have a couple, like Gym Max, and actually 2 gyms sponsored us, and then like Jody Harper sponsored, but he gave us like those special handles to give out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had a lot of, but most of it was like from arm wrestling clubs, which is like, what? Think about that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, like, wait till you see it. Like, you'll see the sponsors. I'd say 1/3 of the sponsor, 1/3 of clubs from Ontario sponsored us.
Well,
wow.
Think about that. You know how many clubs?
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a lot of guys coming from the teams that we practice with.
Yeah.
Why aren't you coming again?
I can't make it this weekend and stuff, just with different obligations and stuff. So
Okay.
hopefully next time. I was hoping to, but no, this weekend's not going to work for me.
The next event, we're not really certain of the date. Well, I mean, we have a tournament that is being run in Rochester, but a next MAC event is either going to be in Buffalo,
Okay.
or we're also looking at possibly, and you should Google this. Oh, I don't know if I should say. Oh, let's just say a really cool. Whatever. If it doesn't happen, call me a liar. Whatever. There's this. It's the old Toronto Stock Exchange. I think they call it DX or something like that. It is bananas. Like the room is like the ceilings are like 50 feet tall, and they got white
Wow.
walls, and they have like IMAX level projection screens or projector.
Wow.
So the two guys will be arm wrestling, and there'll be like a 30-foot version of them on the table.
That's crazy.
That's gonna be amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they have a bridge in the venue, so when they do their walk downs, like we can watch them come down the bridge, like you know what I mean, across the bridge and then down the stairs, and then have them, lights, camera, action, boom, boom, boom.
Amazing.
That's
so almost like
say again, sorry.
So almost like Armor style back in the day when they used to come down.
A lot like that, except it wasn't in a mall. It's actually a venue. This is a venue, and but yeah, I'm surprised you even remember that. How long have you been for?
Pardon?
How long have you been arm wrestling for?
I've only been arm wrestling 8 months, but I've been watching.
How about that in Arm Wars? You just
I've been watching arm wrestling. Yeah, every day. My wife gets annoyed with it. She's like, "Why do you always just listen and watch arm wrestling?" And yeah, I love it. I started watching arm wrestling, I think, end of 2018, and then
that was basically when I retired. Like when the WAL, I was like, for me, it was a real tough ask, like to go from getting, $4,500 checks from Steve Kaplan, which converted to like 5,600 Canadian, and to go back to paying for registration fees. I just was like, you know what? My kids are in high school now. They're playing football. They're big time. I think I'm just going to be a football dad for a while. And then the sport passed me. Like I ended up like pulling pork chop on my comeback, and he like wiped the floor with me. And I was like, oh, if this is these are the guys that are coming in right now. And I don't know, and then I gave it a real good go, like training wise, for that team event last year, which I ended up beating a guy who beats pork chop, which Rick Heiderbreck. I beat him 3 times, and I beat Zach Shattuck there, but and I beat Rick once with the left arm, and he got me in the last 3 pulls with Rick left. I've got 2 wins, but he has the most recent win, lefty. So
he's also a well-known puller for many years in Ontario and stuff.
Yeah, and if you've seen his win, like the people that he's beaten, it's bananas. Like if you just like he gets to the table, he gets a win, not necessarily a super match, just pin. Like Devin, Ron Bath, Earl Wilson, Mike Gould, he's beaten me. I mean, he's beating everybody.
Yeah,
like
that's incredible.
Wow. And he's taking some awful losses, and I get onto him. I'm like, come on, he has a hard time dealing with speed, and I just feel like, which is why I think this match will be real good for him, because Philip is like about hand strength and strength, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, at least Rick will be in the match.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if it stops, I'm sorry, getting a call. I'm just gonna tell him, can I call you later? There we go. Yeah.
No, yeah.
And then to be fair, guys, like this card only works if everyone buys into what we're doing. If you guys come and you we've set the rules, we set the expectations. If guys will come and pull within the rules, I'm telling you, everyone's going to have a good time. If
Yeah,
you're going
for sure.
to system and stuff like that, at the end of the day, we cannot make up rules like we on the spot, right?
Yeah.
We have to follow, we have to set a guideline and we have to stick by it. And yeah, if people fight that, then we're going to have fouls and we're going to have people, and it's not going to be fun. But I'm telling you, if you just listen to the words of command,
Yep.
get to arm wrestle. For real.
Which is
100%.
what else is it that we want to do than arm wrestle?
Right? That's it. We're going to
That's
have,
what we're there for.
well, we will have more 3-0s than regular events. And here's why. You're stuck with your opponent. Like, it's hard to foul out, right? So if you have 3 fouls and a running warning system, like, if you the weaker guy is going to take an ass whooping. That's just the way. You know, if you're really close and you're a technical guru and you can really do a lot of reversals and tap into different strengths, then you might be able to make a 3-1 or a 3-2 score. But for the most part, if a guy is 5, certainly 10% difference, this sport, this form of arm wrestling will expose you. I think WAF, because the rules are so hard to play with, and there's a lot of inflated scores. Like, a lot of times people look at a 3-2 or 3-1 and be like, wow, that was close. And in actuality, it wasn't. It's just the weaker guy was able to, there's 2 fouls, right? So, and you can foul for anything. Like, it's just, do you know what I mean? So it's just like, come on now,
And I've seen that many times, but I know watching the last East versus West, there was a bunch of 3-0s as well. And like that was, so I don't know. I think just in your sport, what we'll see is, like you said, the stronger man comes out on top because there's no bullshit. You can't work around it. And I was thinking about it, like back in the day, Don Underwood and Travis would love this setup because they used to make those little elbow hops and they'd get fouled for them. And with your table, they're automatically going like Travis. He wants a ref script and he wants to be in the strap.
Yeah.
And he can elbow hop. This would
Yeah.
have been his game.
And the thing is when you say you can elbow hop, it's limited, right?
Well, your finger thickness, pretty much.
Yeah, it's basically, to break the plane, you have to exceed an inch. So an inch is level, right?
Yep.
So really, you have 3/4 of an inch, which
I agree.
Is 5 finger width, and the way I see it is, I can buy that a 3/4 of an inch elbow bob was unintentional. I can buy that. Once you get over an inch, it's hard to accidentally foul an inch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I fully agree.
And if you're up an inch and you come down, like, that's dangerous. Like, you know what I mean? So we don't
fully agree. And you gain so much advantage if you were to go over an inch. Like, you can get so much height and then come back down and really drive through it. And like, you've gained so much advantage.
So we're not trying to hurt our athletes. And to be honest with you, like, we're over a year, knock on wood, and please, Lord, like, continue this for Saturday. We have had no injuries.
And I love it. I also like, we've had a lot of these talks and whatever. I have no problem with the King's move, love the King's move. But there's been all these long podcasts about people arguing, what are all these rules? And I like how you went on with Coach Ray and talked about it. You're like, it's simple. Buy my table, because that doesn't work. And I love it. There's no bullshitting there. It's just the reality.
Well, you can King's move in a legal sense, like, but a legal King's move is really an open arm top, right?
It's like an open arm top roll, like Dennis Takeoff did a lot of.
So I can't King's move for shit, but my arm, I don't know if that you guys can tell, my arm doesn't fully straighten.
Yeah.
But King's move. I'm one of those guys that when I get into the Kings, it's too much pain for me, right? But I mean, like, if it was the fate of the world and I could just hold on, I'd probably do it too, right? Yeah. But the problem is the second your arm straightens on this table, it will catch the pin. Like, it's just too high. Our pin pad is 3 inches in difference to the elbow pad, which in WAF it's only 2. Mm-hmm. And if you look at guys busting their biceps, it's always about a 1/2 inch to an inch above the pin line anyway. So we figure, let's save some bicep tears here and just, and it'll force guys to learn to, roll, cup, supinate. You know what I mean? Pronate, like really arm wrestle, press.
Get them all in there.
Yeah, get your hand going, get your hands strong, get your arms strong, and rock. And like, I don't have a real big problem with the King's move, other than I don't like all these young guys going to that move right away.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. It's like, come on, guys, learn the basics, like you can throw it in there every once in a while, but make sure that this center right here, this is the most important thing, right?
Yep.
This tool right here, your hand and wrist, that allows you to actuate what you got here, what you got here. Like, if this is not correct, you'll get exploited, and this won't fucking matter.
Yeah. Well, and I like that because, like, arm wrestling with Crazy George, I've seen guys want to dip down the King's move, and George will stop, and he'll be like, "Stand up." And people all know George as like the oldest mover around.
He is King George, and that's why it's a move, right?
Yeah. But then to arm wrestle with him and then seeing somebody dip in the King's move, and he's like, that's a last resort. You start at the table, you learn to cup, you learn to pronate, you learn to do these moves properly. And it's him teaching them that way.
Yeah.
And then it's the last resort is the King's move. You don't just practice your King's move at like.
I'll just say this, guys. If you got some pertinent questions to ask me, let's go, because I'm getting tired. I got to pick up people in the morning, and I also, my phone's about to die. So
it's been great talking with you, Ian. Thank you so much for coming on. We will be tuning in on Saturday.
I'll be there.
So see you guys then. Stay tuned for more videos.
I like those arms, buddy. I see you. Okay, bye-bye.
See ya.